Hello everyone. So at this point, we shall begin with another discussion about the topics of environmental science, particularly bioindicators of pollution. So going back from our previous discussion before the Wesleyan University Cup, we did discuss about the pollution and the sustainability, and I am confident enough that you can still remember all the topics that was discussed before. And now we will begin with our a new topic, which is bioindicators of pollution. So this is just a part of our previous topic regarding pollution. Okay, so when we say bioindicators, these are indicators of the presence of pollutants in a particular place or in a particular area. But before that, uh, let's talk about the learning outcomes for this discussion. Okay, at the end of this discussion, um, I am expecting you guys that you should characterize and examine the different types and biological criteria of the bioindicators, as well as demonstrate and elucidate how bioindicators are being used in assessing the quality of the environment. Okay, so talking about bioindicators, of course, from the word itself, bio means life, and indicator or indication. Of course, um, uh, the definition of this is living organisms that responds in an especially clear way to change the environment. Okay, so these are, of course, to indicate or to monitor the health of the environment. So, a good indicator or a good bioindicator will indicate the presence of the pollutant, di ba? Of course, if there is pollution, there is a presence of pollutant, and also attempt to provide additional information about the amount or the intensity of the exposure of pollutant to an environment. Now, how are they used? Okay, so different bioindicators are sensitive to different types of changes. Okay, so scientists observe changes in the population of animal and plants bioindicators to see in if an environment is healthy. So yes, as mentioned during our previous discussion, of course our environment uh, undergoes series of change, di ba? Changes. Okay? Kasi that could be affected by different factors such as, of course, the biotic and abiotic factors. Kapag abiotic factors, of course, nandyan yung temperature, the amount of sunlight, the humidity, and so on and so forth. So, biological response of bioindicators reveal the presence of pollutants by the occurrence of typical symptoms or measurable responses, and it is therefore more qualitative. Okay? So, uh, notably, bioindicators are used to indicate whether there is a presence of pollutant to a specific environment. So, so let's talk about the microbial system. So microorganisms are a diverse group of organisms found in large quantities and are easier to detect and sample. Sabi nga natin, microorganisms are ubiquitous, di ba? They could be found to different environment, different places, di ba? So the presence of some microorganisms is well correlated with a particular type of pollution, and it serves as a standard indicator of pollution. So if there are, um, yes, if there are, of course, presence of these microorganisms in a particular environment, of course, this that could be an indication that of course yung place na yon or oo is polluted already or contaminated. Okay? So some indicators. Okay? So we also have here bioluminescent bacteria as bioindicator. So when we say bioluminescent, of course, these are light emitting bacteria that could be found sa mga oceans, sa mga bodies of water, particularly sa ocean. So bioluminescent bacteria, these are used to test water for environmental toxins. Okay, if there are toxins present in water, the cellular metabolism of bacteria is inhibited or disrupted. So, take note of that na kapag ka may mga present na ganitong organisms, of course, the cellular metabolism sa bacteria is inhibited or disrupted. And of course, may mga toxic or toxins na present dun sa tubig. So, this affects quality or light emitted by bacteria. Okay, so, ano nga ba yung bioluminescence? So bioluminescence occurs through a chemical reaction that produces light energy within an organism's body. Diba? From the word bio means life. Diba? Yung luminescence, of course, it pertains to our term na nabibigay ng ilaw. Okay? For a reaction to occur, a species must contain luciferin, a molecule that when it reacts with oxygen, it produces light. So, of course, kapag ang mga bacteria ito is, of course, nagkaroon ng chemical reaction dahil sa presence ng, of course, ng tubig or ng oxygen, they produce light. That's why, kapag hinahawakan mo or, of course, kapag nasa kinetic, of course, tawag nito, when they are in motion, 'di ba? They are moving, of course, and that motion corresponds to parang is a factor for a chemical reaction. That's why kumukulay sila kapag nakakawakan sila or kapag namumove sila. Okay? So, now lower plants. When we say lower plants, we are pertaining to, of course, lichens. Lichens are algae and fungi living symbiotically, and they have to live together to survive. So, of course, they are uh, they are they can live in extreme condition, but they hate pollution. So sensitive indicators of air pollution, particularly sulfur dioxide. So kung ibig sabihin kapag may mga lichen sa isang lugar, of course, meaning healthy yung place. Okay? But if yung isang lugar is walang lichens, of course, maybe that could be an indicator that it is a sign that the air or that particular environment is heavily polluted with sulfur dioxide. Okay? So, another is the presence of algae. Okay, algae are a significant component of biological monitoring programs for assessing water qualities, di ba? So they are eligible to water quality to assessment because of their nutrient requirement, rapid reproduction rate, and very short life cycle. So a very good examples of algae are the phytoplanktons. Okay? So of course, may ah, kapag dumami ang algae sa isang body of water, that could be an indication that yung bodies of water na yon is mataas ang nutrient level. Okay? Di ba kapag yung ganitong phenomenon is tinatawag natin eutrophication, right? So we also have here diatoms, okay? So diatoms are algae that lives in houses made of glass. So they are only organism on planet with, of course, with cell walls composed of transparent opaline silica. Okay, so these unicellular microscopic algae capable of reacting to industrial and agricultural organic pollution are being used as biological indicators. So changes in the atoms community or the decrease in planktons or decrease in plankton algae and aquatic hydrophytes indicate that of course, there is an increase of water acidity. So, kapag kasi itong mga to is na, kapag ang acid is na-introduce sa kanila, of course, ayaw nila ang acidic environment, that's why mawawala sila. So, kapag nag-decrease ang kanilang numbers or nag-decrease yung kanilang population, maaaring yung quality of water is mataas yung acidity niya. Okay? Now, let's talk about the higher plants. So, we have here the Cisalpinia pulcherrima. So it is evaluated as bioindicators of heavy metals such as lead, copper, cadmium, manganese, zinc, chromium, and nickel. So if nakita nyo ang isang lugar na may mga ganitong klaseng mga halaman, we have Cynodon dactylon, that is an indicator that mataas yung heavy metals doon. Okay? Now we have here the water hyacinth and horsetail. So kapag may water hyacinth sa inyong lugar or sa isang body of water, that could be an indication that there is heavy metals or there is a large amount of heavy metal pollution in the water. So meron dito na yung Equisitum species. So this is an indication that there is a presence of gold in your soil. Diba? Imagine, kapag meron kayong horsetail na nakita sa inyong bahay or sa inyong surroundings, maaaring ito ang indication na merong gold sa inyong surroundings. Okay, so at this point, we have here a very good example of water hyacinths in Pasig River. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nakakita kayo ng ganito, maaaring mag-conclude that, of course, polluted yung place na yan and mataas yung heavy metals na nandyan. Okay? And, of course, kapag mataas ang heavy metals, kapag na-introduce sa inyo yan, maaaring, of course, it could lead to a negative effect sa inyong health. Of course, maaaring magbigay ng different diseases or illnesses. Now, we also have here higher plants. So annual weeds or short-lived perennial like amaranthus, chenopodium, and polygonum, etc. grows better in overgrazed areas. So kapag overgrazed ang isang lugar, okay, at tumubo yung mga ganitong klaseng plants, amaranthus, chenopodium, and polygonum, this is an indication that that place was a victim of overgrazing. Okay? Now, okay, so earthworm population in contaminated sites reflect a degree of soil pollution as whole. So earthworms act as early warning system in monitoring changes in soil pollution, and earthworm is used as bioindicator to uh, determine the presence or to determine acute toxicity of that particular environment. Also, we have here frogs. Frogs are considered an accurate indicator of environmental stress and health of the biosphere as a whole. So they are the first to be affected by degradation of the environment. So their dwindling numbers may be warning to us that our planet is becoming unlivable. So ibig sabihin kapag nawawala na yung frog, of course, kapag nade-degrade or nade-decline na yung numbers ng frog, maaaring sinasabi nito na ang ating place could not be livable for the next generation. Okay? Over the last several decades, amphibians around the world have been disappearing. So destruction of habitat is certainly a problem, di ba? Destructions of the biomes, destruction of the environment, destructions of biosphere are problems. These problems are caused by human activities. So pollution is also probably connected to the decline of the numbers of frogs. So, of course, kapag nag-decline na yung numbers of frogs, that is an indication that our world became unlivable. Okay? So, a recent discovered skin fungus may also be responsible in, of course, decreasing the number of frogs. So this fungus is believed to slowly suffocate frogs by attacking the skin through their which they breathe. So this fungus is the chytrid fungus. Okay, so this is the chytrid fungus. So this type of fungus doesn't usually attack frogs. A fact may lead some scientists to think that frogs are being weakened by other environmental stresses. So yes, if frogs are being subjected to different heavy metals, of course, dahil di ba nandiyan lang naman sila sa soil, syempre, ang soil nag-absorb yan ng mga toxins, ng, ng nag-absorb yan ng mga toxins, maraming mga heavy metals dyan. And ang mga, sino ba ang mga nakatira sa mga ganyang klaseng environment? Syempre, yung mga frogs. So, they are vulnerable to absorb or to be contaminated, or they are vulnerable para ma-introduce sa kanila yung mga pollutants. Okay? Fish also. So fish have been widely documented as useful indicators of environmental water quality because of their differential sensitivity to pollution. Of course, kapag ang isang lugar is mataas yung biodiversity nila, may mga iba't ibang klase ng fishes, of course, that is an indication na healthy yun. Pero kapag ang isang lugar is iisa lang ang klase ng species na nakatira doon, maaaring that is already an unbalanced environment, and that could be a cost, or yes, a cost by pollution. Take a look at this example. So this is an example of biomagnification. So yung mga mayfly, they are na-introduce sa kanilang toxin. And itong mayfly nito is pagkain ng mga blue gill. Now, itong blue gill, kinain ng bass or bass, and yung bass is kinain ng human. Now, saan napunta yung toxic? Napunta sa human. So, paano nagkaroon ng concentration of chemicals? Of course, yung mayfly na-introduce sa kanya or it was subjected sa toxins. Now, itong blue gill, hindi lang naman sa mayfly makaka-absorb ng toxins kasi yung kanyang environment may be factors or yung environment niya is maaring maraming mga toxins din. Okay? Maaring mag-accumulate ang maaring magkaroon ng bioaccumulation na tinatawag. Now, of course, kapag pinasama mo yung mayfly at blue gill at makakain ng paste, of course, yung base din, makakain yung toxins na present sa blue gill as well as present din yung mga other pollutant sa kanyang environment and the bioaccumulate as well as kapag kinain siya ng tao, of course, parang yung concentration ng chemicals or pollutant is increasing hanggang mapunta siya sa tao. Okay? Or makain siya ng tao. And this could actually lead to food poisoning as well as, of course, other health illnesses or health issues, di ba? So we also hear microinvertebrates. So when we say microinvertebrates, these are macroinvertebrates. So when we say macroinvertebrates, these are, of course, invertebrates that could be seen by our naked eye. Okay? So, hindi sila mas malalaki lang sila ng konti sa mga microorganisms. So, microinvertebrates are often used as bioindicators because they are very sensitive to pollution, excess nutrients, increased turbidity of chlorine, and so on and so forth. So, of course, you can determine if a water is polluted by collecting a sample of suspected water and analyze the type of animals that are in the sample. So, halimbawa, kumuha ka ng tubig doon sa kumuha ka ng tubig sa river and naglagay ka ng freshwater shrimp doon. Now, kapag ka nag-leave kapag ka nabuhay yung freshwater shrimp doon, that could be an indication na yung tubig na yun ay maaring hindi siya toxic. Okay? Kasi nga nabuhay yung shrimp. Pero kapag namatay yung shrimp sa tubig na pinagkuhanan mo, of course, that could be an indication na maaring yung tubig is mataas yung toxicity niya. Okay? So, now, we also hear the fireflies. So, the researchers are seeking data on fireflies worldwide to see whether their populations are increasing or decreasing. So, fireflies are bioindicators of a species wherein a species ecology monitor to help gauge how healthy an ecosystem is. So if fireflies disappear, it might be a sign that their habitat is in trouble. That is true. Of course, kapag ka nawala na yung mga fireflies, saan ba nag-i-stay masyado yung mga fireflies? Sa mga trees. Okay? Kapag nawala na yung mga yun, of course, that is an indication na nawala na yung mga trees. Now, why are bioindicators better than traditional methods? So, bioindicators have the ability to indicate indirect biotic effect of pollutant when many physical or chemical measurement cannot. Diba? So, of course, by simply observing our environment with all the indicators or bioindicators discussed in our discussion, you can easily identify whether your environment is polluted or not. Through bioindicators, scientists need to observe only the single indicating species to check the environment. So they don't have to monitor the whole community. Okay, di ba? That is the significance and the relevance of the bioindicators in our community. So that's the end